Each Tuesday in February, we take some time to reveal the answers to the previous week's batch of trivia questions. So tonight we are focused on questions 6 through 10. By the way, an update on some of the stats. I was talking to Kyle Imhoff, our state climatologist, but also person who maintains the database for our trivia contest. He was saying that we actually had 200 folks who submitted their answers in for last week's questions. And of those 200, 58 of you got all 5 correct. So it turned out to be an easy week. Let's reveal some of those answers that at least 58 of you got correct. Here's a look at question 6. The Storm Prediction Center officially classified the thunderstorms that barreled through Pennsylvania on April 29th, 2025 as a derecho. When was the last time the Commonwealth was impacted by this type of severe weather event? Your options here were 2012, 2018, 2020, or 2022. The correct answer was C, 2020. So if you think back to late April of last year, many of you in southwestern Pennsylvania all the way into central PA impacted by this particular line of storms. It left a swath of wind damage and also power outages that lasted for days. That was not the first time we've been impacted by a derecho here in Pennsylvania. You can actually see some of the wind damage reports indicated here by the blue dots all through the Ohio River Valley by that particular event. But if you go back to the database of the Storm Prediction Center, you can see another line of some storms that impacted Pennsylvania, kind of moving in this general southeasterly direction on June 3rd of 2020, not to be confused, by the way, with the more prolific derecho that went from Chicagoland all the way to the mid-Atlantic coast on June 29th of 2012. That produced quite a bit of damage, but in Pennsylvania, we were looking for the last or most recent event, and that was in 2020. You see this line of storms starting off at the beginning of the day, lasting all the way into the afternoon and producing a swath of some damage with that line kind of self-sustaining for around 500 miles. So 2020, the correct answer for question 6. Moving on to question 7, we're going to stick with the theme of severe weather. During a tornado outbreak in March of 2025, an NWS office in Louisiana received a pizza-themed morale boost from colleagues in another NWS office far away. Which of the following is not true about the office that sent the pizza? It's on the other side of the international date line. It's a U.S. territory. Its forecast area, rather, includes multiple islands, or it's in the southern hemisphere. The correct response here was D, it's in the southern hemisphere. This was based on a Facebook post from the Shreveport, Louisiana office where they were covering a tornado outbreak in their area, and they received some pizzas from the NWS office in Guam. By the way, the National Weather Service, not just here in the lower 48, they've got offices in Hawaii, Alaska, and U.S. territories like Guam, and that's on the other side of the international date line. So you kind of needed to dig through some of the data. This, by the way, is that office in the NWS Guam area. Go over to your globe and kind of note that this is not in the southern hemisphere. We are north of the equator, and so that's why that was the correct response for question 7. Question 8, in late July of last year, Tampa finally hit triple digits for the first time on record. Only one city in the continental U.S. with a population over 100,000 has still never officially measured 100 degrees. What is that city? Is it Buffalo, Manchester, Miami, or Fargo? The correct answer was A, Buffalo, New York. Now, the local NBC affiliate had this post when that happened last year, when they hit 100 degrees for the first time. If you actually did some data sleuthing for all the other cities that were kind of listed as options for this question, you can see Manchester, New Hampshire has hit triple digits multiple times. Looking at Miami, they've hit 100 degrees just once in 1942. If you actually kind of look at some other cities here, Fargo, North Dakota, 114 degrees is their all-time record, but they've frequently, they go triple digits at least a couple of times, I'd say, in the last decade or so. And then Buffalo, not yet seeing a 100-degree reading. Most recently, a 98-degree reading there in 2020, but still not officially 100 degrees. So Buffalo, the correct answer for question 8. Question 9, what southern city recorded 2 of its 3 all-time lowest daily temperatures in January of last year? Pensacola, Florida, Lafayette, Louisiana, Mobile, Alabama, or Biloxi, Mississippi? Lafayette, Louisiana was what we were looking for, B, for question 9. You can do more data sleuthing, and in fact, if you pull up their all-time minimum temperature records from Lafayette Regional Airport, you can see 2 of those top 3 coldest readings occurring in subsequent days last year. 8 degrees on January 21st, 4 degrees on January 22nd. So that's why Lafayette, Louisiana was the correct answer for question 9. And finally, question 10. Following a tornado in the spring of 2025, a Midwest farmer made headlines when he shared photos of the damage to his homestead and herd. One miraculous photo included impact from which of the following objects? Was it a pontoon boat, an ATV, a 2x4, or a water heater? The correct answer here was a 2x4. So you can see this severe outbreak that occurred across portions of the Great Lakes and Corn Belt last May 15th of last year. And you can see the blue and red dots here indicating where not only we're talking tornado reports, but also wind damage reports. Photos like this coming in out of the Juneau, Wisconsin area. But really what caught headlines and caught attention of a lot of folks was this particular picture sent into one of the local TV affiliates of a 2x4 that had impaled a farmer's cow. Good news here, the cow, I don't know if its name is Bessie, but it survived and it did just fine. But that 2x4 impaled the cow during the course of that severe weather event. So that's why a 2x4, the correct answer for question 10. So we've got some great prizes at stake this year, including a cozy collection, some Weather World mugs, and 2 weather-themed books. Our second place prize is a swag collection, everything from a Weather World hoodie and beanie to a t-shirt, cap, and umbrella. And the first place prize, generously donated by a longtime Weather World viewer, is the Ambient Smart Weather Station. Good thing to be able to track whatever the weather's doing at home on an app on your phone. Also throwing in a cap and an umbrella. Remember, you need at least 10 correct responses over the course of this trivia contest to be eligible for the drawing on March 3rd. Good luck, and we're back in just a moment with more.